there's something that all of us probably have in common, it is that we've been lied to, like, all our lives. Now, that's just my story, but I'm sure there's a lot of, actually, I know there's a lot of people because they've told me, yeah, we were all lied to. We were lied to in school. We were lied to about, the true, story of the Thanksgiving. We were just lied to. In religion, in my case, in the Mormon church, based on lies. I'll just leave it at that. Lies. And then we get older, or time progresses, and then they come out with another big lie, which was like the food guide pyramid. The food guide pyramid was a huge scheme, in my opinion, to make money. So they get, they pay scientists and stuff to say, oh, there's health benefits and this and that, but we're going to put, this much protein, this much carbs, and then what happened? We started seeing, video footage today of, back in the 60s and 70s of people on beaches, and there's not one overweight or morbidly obese person there. And then we fast forward to now, and it's just like, that's majority of what you see. So the lies to promote disease, to promote making money, so being lied to my whole life, now I start to think, on the conspiracy theory side, well, what else are they lying to me about? Who do I trust? Do I trust a doctor? I've been going down the rabbit hole and doing my own, experimenting, researching on health, and changed my eating, and so my doctor, my primary care doctor, calls me up and they're like, hey, it's that time again for you to get, your yearly mammogram. So let's just throw in your yearly checkup. And I was like, fine, insurance covers it, so why not? And I messaged one of my best friends and I told him, I was like, so what do you think? Like, here we go. Do we believe him? The whole, my cholesterol will probably be off the charts. See, I can't even think straight. I'm so worked up. Off the charts, because I've been eating, fatty meats, using grass-fed butter, tallow, ghee, just totally changed. And I've gotten more lean. I've been feeling great, eating all this animal-based products. So this will be interesting, right? And they didn't tell me to do, fast before having these tests done. So that, I was like, all right, we'll forget about the tests. I'm feeling pretty good about my health. And we'll go ahead and do the mammogram. Now, here's the thing you need to know about me. I have a lump in my breast, and it's been there for years because of a fat transfer. Don't ever get a fat transfer. It's bullshit. And it's one of those things that, all right, we'll keep an eye on it. And I'm like, well, why don't you just take it out? Just take the damn thing out. And they're like, well, it'll probably come back, so take that out, why are you leaving it in me? And it's just like, all right, I'll go through the motions. We'll get it done. I'm not thinking anything of it because why? So then I get the phone call and I'm like, that was super fast, weird. And they're saying, so here's the deal. We need to set you up with another screening because, I'm like, well, so how much is this going to cost me? Because I've already been through this. I've already been through this with this one lump, which is why I was like, why are you guys aren't going to take it out because you just want to, make me go through the motions to charge me more money that insurance isn't going to cover. So I was like, is insurance going to cover this? And I'm like, well, what do you find? What did you find? There's the lump there. They're like, well, we found another lump. And I'm like, all right, so we got the one lump from the fat transfer, and now you're saying, like, what's the deal? And they're like, well, it's listed here as chronic. And I'm like, I'm sure it is. So they put the word chronic in there because the last time this happened, the last time I did all these tests for that lump, I paid like $800 out of pocket. I'm not doing that again. So I even put off getting mammograms done because I don't want to be part of this bullshit machine. So I'm like, fine, fuck it. I'll call my insurance and see if it's covered. And she's like, well, so they cover initial mammogram. Anything that has to be done after that, you pay for. Really? Wow. So chronic. And so it just is very, like, who do you trust? You know, I really haven't put my trust in doctors. That's why I live so healthy. That's why I don't put junk food in my body. That's why I've changed my lifestyle to, like, wholesome, organic, grass fed, you know, getting my meat from really good places, never from a place like Walmart where it's gonna go through a slaughterhouse situation. And I have a hard time believing that things are hereditary. You know, I don't believe that obesity is hereditary. I think it's a thing that happens because of the environment you're in. So, of course, they would call that, you know, well, you know, if your mom was obese, then, you know, because my mom has been overweight most of my life. And when I lost the first 50 pounds, I vowed that I would never let my body, you know, and I've done a pretty good job of it. You know, so I have a hard time believing things like it's just interesting. I mean, part of me is like, do I even want to get the labs done, my blood test checked? You know, so the doctors can say your cholesterol's high. Let's put you on some, you know, cholesterol medication, which I will never take ever in my life. Ever. Have you looked up how cholesterol is beneficial for you? You should look it up. Look it up and see how beneficial, especially it is for women, how in the time that they told us to not eat fat, that women lost their menstrual cycles. I haven't had mine in 20 years. You know, that there's more to this than we realize, them telling us, oh, cholesterol is bad for you. So, pardon me if I don't want to go and be part of this, you know, testing on, like, there's just, yes, my mom had breast cancer. Yes, her mom had breast cancer. Yes, her sisters had breast cancer. So I'm just sitting here going, like, what do you do? You know? If I was shitting money, sure, do your fucking test. But at the same time, if there's a lump there and they, you know, this is where I just want to go find a naturopath. That's what I want to do. I want to find a naturopath and I want to pick their brain. I want to have them, you know, talk to me about this shit. I don't want to go to a doctor and have them puncture or whatever they do, biopsy it and have it open. Like, all right, I know I'm not a medical professional, but in this day and age, I just cannot trust, especially after being medicated my whole childhood, only to get off of it finally, for the most part, except for one, and realizing that, you know, carbohydrates can cause mental disorders. And I know there's a lot of people that I'm losing, and that's fine. That's what I love about this country, is our freedom to choose what we want to do with our bodies. Well, for the most part, our freedom, you know, to have freedom of speech, which, let's face it, you know, our freedom of speech is being, they want to get rid of it. They want to get rid of our freedoms, you know. They want to just control us. That's how I feel. But for the time being, we have a freedom of speech and we have a freedom to either go or not. This is my ranting. This is my brain. Just, if I tell the internet how I'm feeling, then maybe it's not real. But when you tell someone close to you, then it's just like, shit, you know, they know. But if you tell the internet, it's like it's not real yet. Not that I'm not worried about anything. It's the money. It's just the fucking money, you know? All right, thanks for listening.